All right, class is in session. Another atomic attraction. Going to be through this book this week. This has been a gem of a book. I've been, by reviewing it and summarizing it for you guys, I've learned a lot myself that I've forgotten. So, and reestablished some things that wasn't in the forefront of my mind. So it's been good. So thank you guys. I give to you guys, and you guys gave back to me without even knowing it. So it's seriously, that's good. When you're trying to help people, you'll be helped back usually. So anyway, and I do say if you're ever depressed, help somebody. Reach out and help somebody. That man, I tell you, we all have bad times, and if you can help somebody out when you're not feeling the best, man, that brings your spirits up. Feels good to help people, and then they'll help you back. But don't isolate. I don't want to go down that road, but just don't isolate. Any of y'all just do not isolate. And this is good for this one because your isolation can make you absent from people, right? Well, that's true, right? So this is talking about scarcity. This chapter is talking about scarcity. I'm going to want to start with Law 16 first of the 48 Laws of Power because it relates to this chapter. So anyway, 48 Laws of Power is the best book. You need to know the 48 Laws of Power to deal with men and women in relationships, and I speak to men mostly because that's my expertise as far as dating. I've dated tons of women, made mistakes, and had tons of successes. So I want you to learn through my trials and errors. So anyway, but if women can learn something here, great. But if we can make better men together, then we'll be better for women. So anyway, let's start with Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Too much circulation makes the price go down. The more you are seen and heard from, the more common you appear. If you are already established in a group, temporary withdrawal from it will make you more talked about, even more admired. You must learn when to leave. Create value through scarcity. Yes, it is well known that things that are scarce, things that are we've talked about it in another chapter, I don't know, and I think I may have even gone over this law before, but it doesn't hurt to go over it again. You need to know the laws by heart almost. I mean, when I hear something that pertains to the 48 Laws of Power, like I said before, I can identify it right away, like boom. And I was like, usually I get the law right, but in full disclosure, I did not know Law 16 was this one. I knew it was around there, but I had to look. I did have to look. So let's see. I'm trying to look for the chapter with my notes. Stand by. Let's see. I think it's right here. All right, chapter 48. So anyway, but real quick, it said once you are established in a group, right, learn when to leave. So you can't be a nobody. I'm not saying, but you can't be somebody who shies away from everything or something, or is not known or honored, or, you're not going to be missed. But if you are known in a group, you're established in a group, and you're honored, skills, and you're making things happen, your withdrawal from the group will make you more talked about, even more admired, right? So, a lot of these things, they're not gimmicks. I'm just going to disappear. Well, if you haven't been making friends, or you haven't been social, or you've been stuck in your room for 20 years, no one's going to know you're missing. So that's part of the scarcity, deal is, you can't, this is not gimmicks, Well, I haven't been very social. Oh, well, maybe I withdraw and girls will just come to me, or, my friends will just miss me. Nah, if you're not making efforts to be around people, they won't make efforts to be around you, So, anyway, let's see, let's go. Chapter 48. Induce scarcity to increase your value. If you tell me I can't have something, that just makes me want it more. Anna Benson. And that's true, right? And part of the thing is, it's true with women to a certain degree, but they got to find you, they got to be attracted to you. They got to be aroused by you. And then they'll want you more when you play hard to get. You can't just play hard to get. You can't just act like you're scarce and she not like you. She has to like you, But the thing is one of the worst things, and there's a friend of mine that I used to date in Austin, we're now friends, and I say you can be friends with a woman if you've dated her before, and you've had a sexual relationship, and you choose to be friends, well, and you decide to end that sexual relationship, now you can be friends, because I decided to end it. I was doing something else in my life, right? So we remained friends for years. But anyway, she tells me about her dating problems, and one of the things she hates the most is guys who are thirsty. Guys in there, so those guys are not making their time scarce. They're making themselves too available, and she hates it. She hates thirst, and that is true because it looks like you have no options. It looks like you're desperate, and women hate because they want to feel like they're with somebody that is wanted by other people. Never tell women your poor dating stories. We can tell it to each other, but don't tell. Oh man, I've been trying to go with 5 girls and all of them dumped me. I couldn't get one date with them. Don't tell them that. Don't say, well, I've been busy on the dating scene. But so many girls been calling me. Whatever. I mean, you don't gimmick it, but never tell them your problems because they'll be like, why are those girls not dating you? Why am I dating you and no one else wanted to date you? Girls do not want to be the only one. Although they might say that. Anyway, let's keep going. One of the least understood and underappreciated aspects of seduction is the concept of value between a man that is available and a man that is less available. Who do you think is less available? Who do you think is more attractive? Someone who is less available to women or someone who is more available to women? Exactly. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, researchers examined how people would react to two identical sets of cookies placed in separate glass containers. One jar contained 10 cookies. The other jar contained 2 cookies. The researchers attempted to find out which set of cookies would be more valuable, even though the cookies were identical. The jar with 2 cookies is more valuable than the jar with 10 cookies. Yeah, because it seemed like there were less cookies, right? It is a strange quirk of human nature that people find people of less available more valuable. If gold is as common as dirt, it has no value at all. Water is more important element. Water is the most important element on Earth. It sustains life, and it keeps us alive. As humans, we can only survive 3 or 4 days without water. Water is considered a low-value commodity because water is abundant. Yet, gold, an element that does not do a thing to support life, is seen as much more valuable because it is much less available. Isn't that interesting, right? And that's kind of like, they talk about like, the teachers, we need to pay teachers and cops more or whatever. And why do we pay these professional athletes all this money? Well, try to go hit a ball like these Major League Baseball players. Try to go kick a ball like Lionel Messi, or try to go kick a ball like Cristiano Ronaldo, or try to go, shoot a basket like Stephen Curry. I mean, they're very rare. Like they're amazing athletes. Try to go play hockey like Sidney Crosby or Alex Ovechkin or Connor McDavid. Or one of my favorites of all times. What he left my favorite team. He's the captain. I'm drawing a blank. Claude Giroux. Yeah, I mean those guys are amazing. Watch them warm up, and the puck looks like it's stuck to their stick. But a teacher. Not that they're not valuable, but you go to a lot of people go to college. A lot of people apply for these jobs. We need them. Don't get me wrong, but try to get someone to throw a puck like they do. Whatever. But anyway, that's part of the scarcity. But what does hockey do, or what does soccer? What does it? Teachers. Raise our youth and educate our youth and make them better human beings and make our society better. But yet, these hockey players and soccer players and basketball players are paid more. So anyway, but that goes back to scarcity. Anyway, just want to make that point. And that's why people, well, I can't believe they pay these athletes millions of dollars. Well, they paying them millions of dollars because, like the best ones are very rare. I mean, I play amateur sports, whether it's hockey or soccer. And dude, if you want to be on a winning team, there's usually some guys that are badass, and you're trying to wine and dine them. This is amateur sports. You know how valuable a good player is. You're like, oh my god, that guy's good. Let's see. And they're like good players, and like the top players in like amateur hockey and soccer. It's like a whole different market, but they're like hot girls, man. It's like, damn, they're taken. Anyway, I digress. This brings us to an interesting point out about the human out. I don't know what that's saying, but anyway, this brings us to an interesting point. The human emotions. Human beings are of all human emotions. Bring an interesting point of all human emotions. I got you. Okay, so the most interesting point of all human emotions is most uncomfortable. Human beings are most uncomfortable when dealing with feelings of loss, regret, and missed opportunity. Missing out on a scarce resource brings up many different emotions, and as research into loss aversion shows, people are more likely to avoid loss than to seek gains. The pain of losing $50 far outweighs the joy of winning $50. Okay. That's true though. I've seen them do one of my professors did it in business school. I'm a business management minor. And he did like something where people were auctioning for like a $5 bill. And I think it's $5 bill, and it ends up being like $100 for the $5. I forget how it went, but anyway, it's one of those weird human phenomenons. We don't want loss, and we'll probably pay more to avoid loss than to gain something. You have to have a firm understanding of these concepts. You can use scarcity and loss aversion to your advantage, using a woman's instinct to mate and date with high-value men. And high-value men is going to be very attractive men. But anyway, everyone has... So then there's this case study 35. Let's see, what was it? Okay, yeah, it was Zach and Zach, and if the girl's name, we'll make her Zach and Lisa. So Zach was going out with Lisa, and it was Brooke. I think they made it Brooke, so we'll make it Brooke. Zach and Brooke. Okay, so Zach liked Brooke, and he's like, dude, she is a wife. She's wife material. She's awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and marry her. And then Brooke lost her kind of the love and feeling for Zach because he was Mr. Reliable, Mr. Dependable, Mr. Always there, Mr. Know where he's gonna be every day, whatever. And there was a guy named Daniel, and she liked Daniel better because he was kind of like a mystery. Like he wasn't as reliable. He would do things spontaneously and stuff like that. So it's one of those things. The case study is just trying to show the juxtaposition between one guy's very reliable and boring, and then the other guy's got some, she liked that. Women do like spontaneity. They don't want things the same. Comfortable is boring. Shout out Rollo Tomasi. All right. Let's see. Basic human psychology dictates that men who are less available are seen as more valuable and attractive than they're more available than men who are more available. So research into attraction also confirmed that playing hard to get works in a man's favor. This is why being a scarce resource is a powerful way to gain a woman's respect and gain your own value at the same time. Yes, however, caveat, you got to be attractive. Playing hard to get doesn't work if you're not an attractive person, if you're not working on, your looks and your game, and people don't notice you, and you're an obese man, and, your health looks bad, and, your style's bad, and women aren't going to notice you, and they're not going to notice you're gone. They don't care if you play hard to get. They want the high value men to play hard to get. So that's where this kind of, the less available men, and, there was a lot of dating coaches that were saying, well, just, when she pulls away, you pull away. Well, yes, true, but she has to like you, Don't text her as much. Well, she has to like you. Again, play hard to get. Well, if you play hard to get and she doesn't see you as valuable, she's not going to come after you. So you cannot gimmick this stuff. You have to. Now, if you're valuable and you're attractive and you've been doing some work and you got your SMV, your sexual market value up, she's gonna go, oh crap, he's pulling away. Oh my crap, I don't want him to pull away. I don't want him to. He's playing hard to get. So they're gonna see you as a loss. But again, it's not just, oh, I'm gonna use this trick to pull away, and then she'll. Not if you hadn't worked on yourself. Okay. However, being a scarce resource is not just about pulling away. There you go. I didn't even know that was that. And being less available. It's about being less available to induce confusion and what was that? Oh, induce confusion and turmoil. Emotional withdrawal means you disqualify a woman if she attempts to get close to you. Then you pull away. So, and I don't, it is, yeah, anyway. As a woman says, so what are we? It is easy to disqualify her, while a simple, I am not looking for anything serious right now. This response is loaded with subtext. You provide hope and doubt. And I am not looking for anything serious sets up the so that sets up the anxiety, right? But you offer hope, you offer that glimmer of hope by saying right now. Oh, right now, So in the same way, if a woman tries to pull away, then you, by saying things like, are we moving too fast? You must agree with this, with her statement, and let her know you agree and you feel the same way and you want your freedom. Pushing a woman away will make her want to come chase you. Yeah, well, I mean, yes, if she likes you, okay? If she likes you. And if a woman says, what are we? It's okay to be like, oh, and depending on how long you've dated, depending on what your vetting process has been with her, if she's been a great person to be around and whatever, it depends on where you are in your life and what you want. But if you want a relationship with her, then you can say, well, do you want to be, are you looking to be exclusive? Is that what you want? And then, oh, okay, I think we can do that. Maybe I think we can do that. Whatever. But if you want to be exclusive, then, go for it, right? But don't get all, oh, thank God we're exclusive. No. You can't want it more than she does. Anyway, increase your value as she chases you while she tries to capture that one elusive commodity more valuable than gold, your love. When you seek love, you must act as if love is the last thing on your mind. In the same vein, if you seek commitment, you must make looking for commitment the last thing that you want. Yeah, well, and those last two things, I mean, that's kind of ending in the chat, but those are kind of, if you want love, you got to act like you don't want it. Well, the bottom line is, that none of this is gimmicks. Don't be thirsty. Know that things are, law 35, master the art of timing. Know that things are going to come to you in due time if you're doing the work and you're living properly. But if she's, again, if it's been, the proper amount of time, and you determine, if you do dating a week and she says I love you, you might not want to say it back real quick, but she has to say it first. Remember, first commandment of Poon, she has to say I love you first. But a woman needs to want you more. Watch what a woman does, don't watch what a woman says. And a woman must think you're her hero. She must have high respect for you. She must think you're better than her. She must want you more than you want her. She must care to lose you. She must be scared that you're going to dump her, not like high anxiety, but she knows that this guy won't take nothing. He will get rid of me if I don't act right. And I don't want to be gotten rid of. You have that. If a woman, because if you don't have that, you have no leverage. And you have to have leverage in things in life. Unfortunately, this is not unconditional mommy love. It is relationships between men and women are transactional. You do have to gain value for value, and and she has to feel like she's losing something in a relationship if she loses you. So that's why she has to feel like you're better than her. If she feels like she can go replace you in 10 minutes, then you're not going to have much leverage to tell her what to do. And that's the problem in most marriages now. Women don't respect the men they're with. And so they clown them, they nag them, they don't have sex with them, they get fat, they wear crap, they're a shrew, they're a boss babe, they get, they've lost attraction and checked out by death by 1,000 concessions, because they don't care about losing them. They can replace you in 2 minutes. That they think. I don't know if that's the correct way to think, but women definitely have that kind of grandiose type thinking these days. Maybe social media and dating apps didn't help. But anyway, that's all we got for this chapter. See you on the next one.